Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Static Shift, Resonant Frequency on the Articulate Studios podcast. My name is Rob Sogomonian. I'm a voice actor. I am one of the founding members here at Articulate Studios. And tonight I am joined by 6 of my colleagues. 2, 3, 7 of my colleagues. Are there 8 of us here? There are 8 of us here. I can't count. It's great.
We knew that. Move on.
Math is hard.
Yes.
That's why I'm a voice actor, because math is hard. Yes, I can do math in 3% increments because I'm also a real estate agent. But apart from that, yeah, no math. Tonight we are going to be talking about Static Shift, Episode 8, Entanglement. And as I mentioned, I'm joined by 8 of my colleagues. I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves a little bit. Jason, the showrunner. Why don't we start with you? Introduce yourself, remind people who you are, because it's been like, what, 3-4 weeks since we've done a Resonant Frequency?
Yeah, months, I don't know. I just don't remember. Yes, my name is Jason. I am the creator and writer, director, producer, music composer for Static Shift. And I come to you from the misty forests of the Pacific Northwest, and emphasis on misty, especially right now. I had to go into town a couple of hours ago, and it was maybe about a quarter-mile visibility right as the sun's going down. So very Silent Hill kind of vibes. It was fantastic.
Dang, that's wild. I'm curious. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and misty mountains are a thing. How many Balrogs did you fight on your way into town?
None today. It was an unusually quiet day, although I did see a whole bunch of turkeys right on the side of the road.
Awesome. Well, one of these days, I want to hear you say, "I smote his ruin upon the mountainside."
Well, there is a huge cave system down there. So
Well, there you go.
Ooh, there could
There
be
you go.
Balrogs just hiding.
Yeah,
Make sure you go down the path that doesn't smell so foul, because the Balrog has probably burned away all of the fumes.
They dug
All right,
too deep.
Yeah. Well, you didn't, but the dwarves did. Speaking of dwarves, the exact opposite of a dwarf, Aaron Sikowski, our 6'8" founding member of Articulate. Him and Jennifer Kellums are, giants in
We're
our
gentle
industry.
giants. Gentle giants.
Well,
he's not 6'7".
Aaron, no, he's not 6'7".
No,
I was
none of that.
trying to get away
None
from
of that.
Actually,
No.
well, what Aaron and Jennifer are what's going to let us win the basketball tournament at VoiceOver Atlanta.
Yes.
There are ringers.
I can be Muggsy Bogues because I'm, 5 foot, and then they could be, well, I guess, or Steph Curry. He's kind of short for a basketball player. I know he's like 5'8", but yeah, that'd be fun. But we're gonna switch over to Aaron, who is the exact opposite of a dwarf/goblin. Aaron, remind people who you are and where you're from.
I'm Aaron Sikowski. I am out of Central Florida, just south of Ocala. I am the producer, writer, director of the Beat Frequency episodes. And yeah, and I do all the voiceover things.
You're the one who makes me relive my childhood trauma.
Okay.
he's fine with that.
Yeah,
He's
I can live with that. It's fine.
I love it. Moving from Aaron, let's go over to Tiffany. Tiffany, remind people who you are and where you hail from.
Yeah, Tiffany Magnuson. I'm up in the Pacific Northwest also, a friendly little neighbor to the north of Jason. It was also very misty this morning. I couldn't see the end of my street this morning.
Dang.
Yeah, so, and that's like maybe like a block, basically. It was very misty this morning. But yeah, I do voiceover stuff. Apparently, I also collect microphones now, so whatever.
Show everybody the microphone you just rebuilt by hand yourself. That's a gorgeous microphone.
That's beautiful.
So it's a Turner S33D from some...
Hold it up while you're saying that so that Riverside focuses on you and I can make sure that people get to see it.
Yes. So yeah, it's a Turner S33D. It came in a bunch of different models. This is the dynamic model instead of the crystal model. This is the high frequency one. So it's high Z. So it goes into like your instrument port on your interface so that it can handle it. But yeah, I love it. I took it apart. My husband helped me solder on a new 1/4-inch jack because someone had clipped the end of it. But yeah, I'm so excited.
That is
Very cool.
So cool. I'm still like geeked out about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Like you have that? Oh my gosh.
It says Facebook Marketplace score $60.
Not bad.
Nice.
And originally you thought that the capsule was actually damaged, and then you realized it wasn't.
Yeah, because I took it apart because I take stuff apart. That's what I do. But when I was taking it apart, when I took the capsule out, there's a little like fiber board kind of spacer in there that keeps the capsule away from the grill. It had just disintegrated. Like it just fell apart in pieces. And some of that got on the diaphragm of the capsule, and it was black, and it looked like it had like a pinhole in it. I'm like, oh no, it's broken. And then when I went to clean it some more, I'm like, oh no, it's fine. It actually was just some like stuff. So yeah, and it works, and it sounds like an old telephone. So
You were pretty excited when you got it all figured out.
yes.
All right, moving from our technical wizard, Tiffany, Jennifer, introduce yourself. Remind people where you are from and what you do.
I am Jennifer Kellums. I am the opposite of a technical wizard. I would look at the microphone and like will it to do things and it wouldn't work still. But I do play a technical wizard on Static Shift as Jerry. And I also play Sally on the beat frequencies. So I live in Palm Springs. I'm a speech therapist during the day and voiceover artist in the evenings.
I love it. Well, welcome to another episode of Resonant Frequency. Danielle, we're going to shift over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Remind the people who you are.
I exist, people. I'm still here, I promise. Hello, I am Danielle Card. I'm a voiceover actress. I hail from Michigan. And yeah, it's been a holiday season. So I am just so grateful to be with you guys again for another episode. Hopefully give the people what they want to hear us rambling about nonsense and our crazy passion project that Jason has made so well. And that Aaron has also made with the beat episodes. And I'm just so proud of you all. Just saying. I listen to these episodes and I'm like, man, we did this? Like, oh my gosh, you guys are so talented. So, sorry, I'm rambling.
Since Aaron has written, directed, edited the beat frequency episodes, does that mean that at VO Atlanta I have to sing Beat It, Beat It?
No.
Okay, good,
No, you
because
don't.
I'm not planning on singing that one. But you all have to help me when I sing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Of course.
Ooh, absolutely.
Because
course.
I am definitely doing that. Erica, we're going to shift over to you, one of our roster members. And sorry, Larry, we're going to do ladies first, as is custom. Plus, Erica's much prettier than you are.
Sorry.
Sorry about. Oh, did I? Sorry about that, Danielle. Erica, please introduce yourself. Is this your first Resonant Frequency?
No.
You have
there's
been on
one.
a previous one.
Just one.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
Welcome back.
thank you.
Welcome
I'm
back.
happy to be back. So, I'm Erica Holden. I am a voice actor out of Northeast Texas. And I'm not in this particular one, but I'm a huge fan of it. So, I'm really excited to be here. And the camellia bush and all our roses are blooming. So, y'all get the misty mountains, and I get the heat.
I
And
had
the mud.
rain today.
We're going to get rain day after tomorrow, I think. And I'm just like, okay. So,
Yeah. It was
anyway.
80 degrees here, so
Okay,
no
I will-
mist.
I will shut up, so. Because we did not do that.
We
But
had
all my plants are blooming, and they're going to be like, I mean, I think there's going to at least be one more freeze. We haven't hit February yet. And so I'm like, oh, my babies.
Michigan hasn't made up his mind because
Yeah, no.
it'll snow and then it'll rain and then it'll snow again and it's like it doesn't know what.
It's a weird winter, that's for sure. So.
Yeah.
We got a week of rain last week, and now it's going to be sunny all the rest of the year because that's California for you. All right, moving on. Larry, last but certainly not least, tell us a little bit about yourself. This isn't your first static resonant frequency, is it? You've been on another episode, or is it your first? I don't remember.
This is the first one. 8 was number 1 for me. So,
Well, welcome, my friend, because you were also in the beat frequency.
I was.
So awesome. Welcome to Resonant Frequency. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Larry Trigg, and I live in the Phoenix, Arizona area. So when you guys are talking about winter, I'm like, what? And so when you guys are getting snow, I'm getting rain. And this has been a really wet winter for us. But during the day, I work at a golf course. So I get emerald green during the day in the middle of this desert, and then do voice acting afterwards. But just have loved being part of this. I think the writing from Aaron and Jason on both of their episodes has been amazing. And then I think the acting has just been phenomenal. So it's been so fun to be part of it. And I'm thinking, it can't get any better than this. And then Aaron and Jason mix it, and they produce it. And I'm like, dang, I'm part of this. I can't believe I'm part of this. This is just unbelievable.
It's pretty awesome. I also want to touch on, you currently work at a golf course, but you have a history in medical device sales and medical prescription sales. So
I do,
you speak medical narration is what I'm getting at.
Yes, I do. I do speak medical narration, corporate narration. Those are areas of strength of mine, but I love character work. So, and what better than to be around this group of characters? So.
Love it. All right, let's dive into the episode. Just once again, I'm Rob Sogamonian. I'm a voice actor. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been a voice actor. I've been an actor since high school, middle school, elementary school, wherever you want to start. I've been acting, and just went professional a couple of years ago as far as like pursuing it as a career. But I do everything. So, episode 8, Entanglement. Jason, you have a history of pulling episode names from song titles. Did this come from a song title or a band name, or is it just the fact that now we're kind of getting into the thick of things and there is some entanglement happening? Like, what was the inspiration for the name of the episode?
This is the exception to it being a reference to a song by Graveyard Club or something. I think I mined that vein pretty well already, and I don't want to get in legal trouble from them or anything. No, this this is referring to more of the scientific principle of entanglement, which is where you can have two particles. They can be literally any distance apart. And if they are entangled on a quantum level, they will act simultaneously, regardless of time or space. So this is getting a little more science-y.
I love it. And quantum theory is something that is absolutely fascinating and fairly foreign to me. I mean, I understand maybe the concepts, but the why does not make sense to me, which I think is cool. It's like one of those, what do you call it, topics where I'm just enraptured by it, and it's just hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah. I think this is one of those things. There are a lot of great resources out there that kind of cover this stuff, and there are Brian Cox is somebody whose name comes immediately to mind.
The
People
actor?
who are yes. Also, also a quantum physicist. There is nothing this guy can't do.
He looks so different when he's in quantum scientist mode versus when
it's Hollywood makeup is really what that is.
When he's pistol whipping somebody for saying shenanigans.
Yes. So there's a lot of kind of public focus and attention on this, but even when you get into the stuff that has been made very palatable for kind of a wide audience, like I still, my brain bucket, it's like, okay, it's been 3 minutes, but it's full. Like, I need another one because this, but like you, I think that's what I love about it. That's what's fascinating.
That's why I get my science from The Big Bang Theory. That's where mine That's where my knowledge comes from.
Oh man.
Such a reliable source, Tiffany.
I know. It's just general topics, and it helps me understand.
Well, I know that there is a lot of progress being made in the field of quantum computing, and I'm wondering how how entangled it is with quantum theory and actual entanglement, or if it's a fun buzzword that they came up with to make it sound cool. Right? I mean, coming from a history of software engineering, I don't have any idea about what quantum computing is, but it sounds like it might be a way to speed things up. If you could make bits and stuff change instantly, if they're entangled with some other, or even communication across distances, right? Because that's the whole idea of quantum theory, is being able to affect something maybe a light year away pretty much instantaneously, which is really cool. Yeah. Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, does this, because I have to ask because I am the resident conspiracy theorist, does this title play into anything that might be coming in the future with static shift? I have my own theories that I'm not going to share yet because I want to get a little bit more data on my wall with the strings, connecting everywhere. But I'm just curious, are you hinting at anything?
I wouldn't say it's explicitly a hint at something specific, but if you see that title and you think quantum entanglement, you're on the right track.
I love it. Getting into the meat of the episode, we start with our favorite investigator, Matt Kaufman, and his sidekick, partner.
Partner, I think, is probably
partner.
Definitely not sidekick.
Definitely
she's
not
no
sidekick.
sidekick.
Okay. All right.
No.
All right. I mean, she's got her own business, it seems like, and he subcontractor.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they're people whose
friend.
interests frequently align. They're professional colleagues who do jobs together.
I love it. They are talking about kind of a little bit about Matt's history and how he kind of disappeared there for a while he was working with Tatiana, or Lynn, if you want to call her that, her professional name. And unfortunately, Hannah can't be with us tonight, which I'm super sad about because that would have been a fun episode. But tell me a little bit about what you guys like. Where did I love the acting in this scene, by the way, because Jerry's obviously a little bit miffed that she wasn't able to go with Matt to do the kind of research that he was doing into this tangled web that they are kind of unraveling. So I'm kind of curious, when you were reading this, did you guys do any kind of character? I know, Aaron, you kind of go with the flow of what the scene is. Jennifer, did you actually go through and like do any kind of pre-work or anything like that to get yourself into this headspace of like, I feel like I'm just kind of being kicked to the curb?
Well, I think I was already in that headspace. I even asked Jason about it. I was like, I think there's some weird plot mess. Like, there's something weird missing. Like, why would he, like, bring me on for a job and then, like, go find some other chick and, like, be doing this job with her? Like, I don't get it. And he was like, don't worry, I got you. So I was already in that headspace where I was already kicked to the curb. And so I was glad to come back. And then, when Lynn shows up in the room and it was, a question of, all right, do I play this like, okay, you are my equal, you are my colleague, or are we going to play some girl games and you're going to have to like show me that you can like step up? Like, are you worthy? Are you worthy of my friend Matt? Or so I'm like feeling her out and measuring her out. And there's definitely a little sarcasm and some edge that comes out at the beginning. And, it's very hard to do that with Hannah because I love her to death. But playing the girl games, I'm like, oh, we're doing that? All right. I got it.
I definitely picked up on a little bit of animosity there at the beginning when she first comes in. Aaron, when you were doing Matt, and you get to the point where you're like, have you ever, Jerry's picking up a gun, and you're like, do you have any experience with that? And she's like, nope. I'm curious, do you have any experience with guns? Are you a firearms person? I love guns, so I go out and I shoot. Not as often as I'd like, but not people anymore. But mostly, paper targets and cans and stuff like that. But I'm curious, when you're talking about, when she's talking about the different brands of guns, like, were you like, yep, that's exactly my experience, or were you kind of like, meh, it's a character, it's just what we're talking about?
Okay, so we're skipping all the way to that part. Okay. Yeah, I just kind of I just rolled with it.
And actually, Hannah had to, because I had that line, and I'm reading it the way I think it's read, but I know nothing about guns. And she goes, well, actually, the commas are here between these words. So that was definitely a retake for me to sound like I know what I'm doing with guns, because I don't.
I think you did a pretty good job.
Thanks, Hannah, for that.
Yeah, Hannah did a great job. And we also find out that Matt is kind of explaining to Jerry how McCracken had Matt forced out. So it's kind of cool. I'm just kind of going with the flow here, y'all. And then Jerry shows up, and Lynn shows up. There's definitely a little bit of animosity in that scene between the two of you. And I like how you're just like, yeah, we were talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Aaron's like, hey, calm down. Yeah, we actually were kind of talking about you.
Yeah. We were, but we weren't. Yeah.
I remember listening as I think I was just being an observer, stalker, whichever you prefer, for that recording session. And I do remember there be like listening and be like, oh yeah, the sass is coming out. The sass is there. And it was very fun to listen to you guys play off of each other because, that's the whole thing with acting, right? You pretend to be in a situation or a character, and a lot, like for our group, we know everyone who we're playing with or playing off of. And all of us have pretty good relationships. And so it's really interesting and it tickles my brain when we have two of us who's like, oh yeah, we're supposed to hate each other. And it's like, okay, let's play it off. Let's do it. But no, I think
any of us and any character Rob has. So.
Right?
Hey, it's easy to hate me, but it's because I got a punchable face. What can I say?
Yeah, got to go with your strengths.
100%. That's why I got the beard, because it's a little extra cushion. It makes it a little bit. You can't see all the bruises from everybody beating me up.
Oh my goodness. But no, it was just really fun to see Jen and Hannah playing off of each other with that. When I'm like, yeah, I know you guys love each other, but it was fun to see.
It was kind of fun for me to see Aaron there in the middle, trying to be the peacekeeper. Like, hey, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Stand back, girls, stand back.
I could hear it, especially like that, like, oh my God, take it easy. Yeah, Aaron, like there's that lilt in your voice when you're like, stop it. God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think from a narrative perspective, from a script perspective, you've got these two characters, Harry and Lynn, who are like, they're strong individuals. These are pretty, they're both badass women in their own way, right? And then, and not that Matt is some kind of pushover, but I think there's a dynamic of him being in the middle of that and navigating that in a way that's going to kind of make everybody happy. And I think the way that Aaron, you just thread the needle with that dynamic every time. And I've never had to like direct you in those lines, because it comes out of your mouth and it's, yep, that's exactly what it is. I'm not going to I'm not going to do extra takes just for the sake of it. But I think for for as good as the characters of Lynn and Jerry are, I think the dynamic of Matt being in the middle and the kind of the nuance that Aaron brings to that role, I think is what really opens it up, because it could be, I think otherwise it could be a little bit shallow, that friction between between Jerry and Lynn. But when you add Aaron's performance in there, it just becomes, it's so much more well-rounded, and for me, it's just that much more real. So hats off to Aaron for bringing it as hard as he does as Matt Kaufman.
Agreed. Great job.
Rob, in the beginning, you had mentioned that I do my typical thing of just rolling with it, and I didn't get to jump in and stop you, but let's rewind if we can. I actually did prepare this time. I read the script a couple of times, and walking into being in the middle of this confrontation, I had to play the role my wife loves to accuse me of, and being the brainless guy. I had to step in and be completely oblivious to what Jerry was trying to communicate, because as the actor in the booth, pretty much anybody can figure out Jerry's not happy that there's not just another person in on this, there's another woman in on this. And the relationship in my head canon between Matt and Jerry is like, there's no between Matt and Jerry. Matt and Jerry is Matt and Jerry land. And Lynn just stepped into Matt and Jerry land. And what makes it worse is that Matt brought Lynn into Matt and Jerry land, and Jerry no likey. So
Cheating on your work wife, man.
So
Right?
Matt is
This is
now,
what I was telling Jason.
and Matt is now completely oblivious as to why Jerry's mad. He's just like, what? I had to vet her. It almost leaves an open line to where if Jason wanted to write it in, he could have had Jerry say, do you? And it would have worked. Because again, Matt had a dumb guy moment. And every lady out there can completely identify that Matt had a dumb guy moment. And he's just like, you chill out, you be cool, and yeah, dumb guy moment. And I
Won't be the first guy to have
prepped for the dumb guy moment, which is really funny. So,
I think it definitely plays as real. I mean, you won't be the first dumb guy. You won't be the first dumb guy to have a dumb guy moment, and you certainly won't be the last.
You mean Matt Kaufman, right, Rob?
Both. Because I am also a dumb guy who has dumb guy moments all the time.
I just find it pretty funny that for all the times that I cold read a script and I identify what I want to do, I really hardcore prepped for this one and nobody caught it. And I'm like, okay. So
It was just so real.
Yeah, the reason no one caught it is because you made it seem so natural.
You made it seem effortless.
Just
yeah.
Effortless. That's the right word.
I actually have to I have to give props where they are due, and that is my recent coaching with Nate Beagle. He has really forced me to not step out of my comfort zone, become more comfortable with a larger zone. So that being said, it's taking the time and familiarizing myself with the script, with the dialogue, and not just, okay, Matt's here and this is how I'm going to make him sound. The voice should be the last thing that comes. I should already be in the scene.
100%.
So anyway, enough about me. Moving on.
Well, I don't think anybody should necessarily catch that you prepped for it, right? It's not something if people are catching that you're doing something, you're not doing it right. If that makes sense, right? Because if you can tell that somebody is acting, they are not the character. If that makes you get what I'm saying.
You only catch something if you're doing it wrong. If you don't notice anything, you're just like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
It means you're doing it right because you just were the character. You embodied it. You were in the scene, and it just flowed effortlessly. And anybody watching was watching the story. They were in the story or listening to the story, whatever it was. And that's how you know you did a great job.
They were
Absolutely.
The
immersed.
continuity of your character between Matt and, I'm sorry, Jerry and Lynn flowed through the script also. With Jerry later, with your quiet confidence that you had with him, you could tell that it just felt like the same character. So, yeah, you were, and that's why it didn't stand out, is that you were acting and you fit in so well. You were not doing a Jim Carrey overacting. You were really doing, I'm sorry for the reference.
That's awesome.
As an overactor.
That's funny.
But-
I understood that reference.
yeah, but I mean, it's because you fit in so well, and it just the characters navigate, and all three. I'm not just saying you. All three navigated that scene together well, and then you and Jerry played off each other so well. Later in the scene, with your quiet confidence, you stayed in that character and just made it seem effortless to me.
It's really funny you mentioned that, because Jason knows this, but I actually have a struggle with Matt and Jerry right now, because I've actually been directed to sort of back off the emotion with Matt, because there are some lines where Matt has the opportunity to really express very genuine concern for Jerry. And there have been a couple of takes where I was like, okay, I want this to really sound like the word intimate is wrong. I'm just trying to think of another word. He greatly cares, like not on a love intimate level, but like this is
We're like
heartfelt.
best friends. Yeah.
Heartfelt. He's got like a heartfelt concern, and unfortunately, Jason kind of had to tell me, let's rein the heart in just a little bit. But it's like you could tell that I simp for the Matt and Jerry thing hard, because good God, the chemistry between the two of them is like one of the most fascinating parts of the entire story for me.
Professional appreciation between Matt and Jerry.
It totally is. I love these characters, and I love their relationship, and I love their chemistry.
Yeah, and I mean, an argument could be made, not that I ship anybody in this series, except maybe Bill and Gardner. Man, they're going to make a great couple. But besides them, I think that it's an argument can be made that if you're in high stress situations with somebody, feelings can be developed that wouldn't necessarily be there if they were in a normal working relationship, right? So an argument can be made, but then again, there's also the argument that can be made that in that kind of a situation or scenario, you definitely want to keep it professional, because people can get very hurt if something bad happens to one or the other, or any member of the group if it's a larger organization. So I get both sides. Speaking of larger organizations, let's get into the scientists in the laboratory. We're going to shift over to Dr. Wren and Dr. Summers. Unfortunately, neither of whom could be here tonight to chat about their roles. So I'm going to talk more about the kind of... It seems like Dr. Petrovich, and Petrovich comes in a little bit later, but for this particular scene, the scene 2 in this audio drama, Petrovich isn't involved. It's Dr. Wren and Dr. Summers. Dr. Wren being played by Tabitha Rickard, Dr. Summers being played by Sarah Zilla. It seems like Dr. Petrovich, I know we have a goal that they're working towards, whatever this function is that they're trying to test for. Seems like she's kind of working him to the grindstone, right?
My lab assistants are questioning my authority.
Yes, they are. Dr. Wren makes a comment about being there for 14 hours. Now, like, she's tired. She wants to go home, but she's got one more lab test to run. And I don't know if this is mandated work, or if this is, Dr. Wren is just really, really enthusiastic about the work that she's doing. Because I've been there where I've worked 18-hour days to try and get a passion project of mine done. I know Jason currently, for some of these Static Shift episodes, as we kind of wrap up season 1, he's going into goblin mode and kind of goblin mode, and he's kind of sequestering himself inside of his editing station to get some of these things put together and writing, finishing the writing for the last couple of episodes. So I get being kind of married or super enthusiastic about the work that you're doing. So I'm not quite sure if which camp Dr. Wren falls in. If Dr. Petrovich is driving them, or if it's just, I really want to get this done because I really want it to work and I really want it to be the best it can be. I would like to lean a little bit towards the passionate about her work, and less so about the kind of slave driver mentality of Petrovich, only because it doesn't seem like she's aware that they're working on something that might be bad. Jason, did you want to talk about that a little bit? We're going to get to kind of the end of this scene in just a second, but
how could it be bad? It's fine.
It's science. How is
Petrovich,
science bad?
That's something a Petrovich would say.
She sounds so trustworthy.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a really key scene because I think, number one, you're starting to see a turn in Dr. Wren. And as to your question about, like, where is kind of her heart, where are her motivations, that is something that gets explicitly revealed a little later down the line. But I would say, just judging this scene from on its own merits, she's definitely coming across as somebody who, like, she wants to do good. She seems like a really nice person. She's pleasant. She's not throwing off any of those evil signs. But she is a scientist. She's actually, I don't think it's explicitly said anywhere, but I have her as kind of a dual PhD, a dual MD. So she's really, she's a badass. That's why she's working for Petrovich, because Petrovich, she's got like the dream team. That's some of what Gardner has been able to provide for her is funding to hire the people like that. She went out and looked through all the academic journals and said, okay, I want this person and I want this person. And that's kind of how that happened. So here you have these incredibly brilliant minds, like some of the greatest scientific minds on the planet, and they're working on this project. And if you go back and you look at when Dr. Wren is first introduced, you'll see there was maybe a little more optimism at that point. When we see her here, there's a definite slide. And this, like, there's a lot of inertia, I think, being built up for her in this scene specifically. And we do see, like, the last line, she's saying that, you're right. Dr. Petrovich, she'll know what to do. She's the boss. She's way smarter than any of us lowly lab techs. But there's not a ton of conviction in that line, which I think says kind of everything that you need to know about where she is, even at the beginning of this scene, and where she is at the end of the scene. It's kind of starting to slip away for her in a lot of ways. And she's having a difficult time with that because, again, she's a scientist. She works on facts. She works on evidence. And there's this the building a body of evidence saying that maybe Petrovich isn't to be trusted.
Well, I think that's one of the things that as we get to the end of this scene, and I'm actually going to skip from this scene to the continuation with Petrovich because it's all kind of tied into the questioning that I have. This line of questioning. Where were you on the night of October 8th, 2025? Dr. Summers brings up the point that, so Dr. Wren discovers that she's the one who discovers that there's an anomaly. Dr. Summers actually misses it the first time she looks at the results. She's like, yeah, everything looks fine. And then Dr. Wren says, no, look over here. Like, this is an anomaly. This is an issue. And then Dr. Summers is the one who's basically like, you're right. And this could actually kill people, right? Like, this is a big deal. And I agree with you. Dr. Wren is kind of like, yeah, okay, let's talk to Dr. Petrovich and she'll know what to do. When we get back to them after a couple of scenes in between, and they're talking to Petrovich, and Dr. Wren is like, hey, we noticed this issue. Dr. Petrovich basically just steamrolls over her and was just like, what were the results? Like, I don't care about that anomaly. What were the results? She doesn't even acknowledge it, which I think is super telling on Dr. Petrovich. But it also, like I was saying, it doesn't come across as if Petrovich is like driving them necessarily. It seems more like Dr. Wren is just married to her work and is looking to finish the experiments. She obviously doesn't know what she's working on, but probably thinks that it's for the benefit of mankind. And then kind of gets a slap in the face when Petrovich is like, "Well, yeah, that's great, but how was the overall reactivity?" Which I think is really cool. Like it's neat to watch the character kind of become disillusioned because of the actions and reactions, I guess, of her boss.
It also gives the audience a chance to be like, okay, so what's actually going on here?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you try to figure out what are Petrovich's motives, right? If this is how she's reacting to this information, what are the motives behind this? What's actually going on? So it gives you a whole nother layer of like, well, things aren't exactly what they seem on the surface, which, I mean, this whole series is like that. But it's very apparent in this particular scene. So yeah, I agree.
I also actually wonder, and maybe, I'm sure, I know Jason knows the answer to this. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. It's probably in season 3. How much does Dr. Petrovich know about what she's working on? She might think that her objective is X, but Gardner and his group of people might know that by directing her towards X, she's actually going to hit Y. Right? So it's just an interesting layered what's going on. Because I would imagine that Petrovich wouldn't want to necessarily hurt people, but she probably, I mean, obviously she's working on something to do something to the human condition, which I would imagine would be improving it. But it seems like, because Gardner, there are conversations that Gardner's having where it doesn't seem like he's told anybody in the research team everything.
Yeah,
he's using them to get to his ends.
Yeah, no, he definitely is the kind of character is like, you know what you need to know according to, so that I can manipulate you into doing what I want.
You would know, Renee, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would.
Well, I was very innocent back then. I had very naive. I didn't know the man I was marrying. It was a different time.
He was different back then.
He was. He was so different.
His name was Bill. No, okay.
No.
No, I do think that this scene does give, like the one with Petrovich, and it does give some idea that she's got something up her sleeve because she wants to get this done ahead of the published schedule, which means ahead of the schedule that, Gardner may have set for this, right? She wants it done ahead of time.
Sure.
And I don't know if that's just to, show that she can get things done, sooner, or if she's like trying to prepare for something. I don't know.
The one thing I love about this show is everyone has their own very unique motives, but we as the audience don't get to see them until like it is time for them to come out, which I love.
That makes so much sense. And, that I thought about that same thing, and that working at one time for a very multi-billion-dollar company, people at different levels have different values. They have different goals, different aspirations, different motivations. And that's what makes this script so true to life. You can imagine this happening. This is so real. And hats off to you, Jason.
100%. One of the things. Oops, sorry, Jason, go.
Oh, no. Well, first of all, thank you, Larry. That's really kind of you to say. One of the things that emerged as Static Shift became a much bigger world, I think is how I put it. There's a continual question of who knows what and when. And the what's been so fun and so rewarding to me is to be able to weave all of those discoveries and revelations about events, about people's motivations, to weave those into these interactions that could very plausibly, Larry, like you were just saying, that these things, you can see this happening. Like this is very, it's not, I mean, there are some kind of out there elements, especially in the final 2 episodes. But the way the people relate to each other, the way they respond to situations and events, like that's where I want it to be always 100% grounded. I want you to always feel something for whoever's in that scene, whether it's you're laughing at how kind of sassy Jerry is, or you're feeling sympathy for Renee, or or loathing for Petrovich, whatever it might be. I think when you can ground those things in these really plausible and relatable situations, that's when you get the stories that stick with you, and that's my goal. That's what I want to do.
Well, and getting back to the plausibility of these characters and the realism of the writing, y'all know, and I think I've gone over this in a couple of previous podcasts, that I've been through many careers. Every single time that I've left a career or left a job, it's because I've been out of alignment with leadership. They say one thing and do another, or they have a direction that they're promoting or pitching, and the direction we never go that direction, right? Like that they'll talk things up. They'll say, as a company, we're so great. Like here's our values, and then they don't quite do what their values say. And that's what I'm seeing with Dr. Wren and Petrovich, right? Like Wren has her idealistic view of what they're working on, and Petrovich has now very clearly gone in a different direction. Right? Even if Petrovich still thinks that they're working on good, she's not interested in hearing about the anomaly, the discrepancies in the readings, to kind of try and fix the issue before continuing, which is at odds with what Dr. Wren would feel would be the appropriate response. So that's some great foreshadowing as to, what might happen with Dr. Wren in the future, because it's a total ideal difference, right? Difference of opinion, schism, if you will, between two different mindsets or paths, right? No, they're not in alignment anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think what I really enjoy here is being able to take these huge concepts. Like I took when I was in grad school, I took this discourse analysis class, And it was like
Everything makes so much more sense now.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should have told you guys that probably a long time ago. But so, this class, it was all about that there are essentially two kinds of discourse. There's big D discourse, which is ideas like freedom, love, eternity. Like those are really, really big ideas. And then there's little d discourse, which would be like the discourse that we're having right now. We're talking about static shift. We're talking about themes and stuff.
Hey, there's never a little D when I'm around, all right? Got it from Danielle.
We'll edit in a rim shot after that. It'll be great. But so what I really love about doing this is that I'm able to take these characters and in some cases have them sort of stand in for these high level discursive positions. You've got at the extreme end, you've got like Jefferson Gardner. Okay, the discourse that drives his life is, money, power, acquisition. I see things that I want and I take them. That's kind of the rules of his life. And then you've got like a Dr. Wren, who's a doctor, a medical doctor who fixes people when they're broken. And that's what drives her. And then you have everybody else who is maybe mostly in alignment with one end or the other of that, but they each also occupy their own spaces, and they're bringing their own identity and experience to the overall world. And that's what's really fun to me, is when you can throw that into a globe and just mix it all up and sort of see what happens.
Well, it's really interesting that you bring that up as far as how you're writing the characters, because I imagine that a lot of other writers in other mediums, and also voiceover, whether they're writing commercials or e-learning or an audio drama or character work or something like that, I imagine that most characters are written in a similar vein. It sounds like you're writing with the character's intention at the forefront, which is interesting because Tabitha, our resident, actually professionally trained actor, has told us when we're reading copy, don't be emotional. Like it's not about the emotion. It's about the intention of the character. So that's where the alignment kind of comes in with an actor versus a character. And I think if their intentions are aligned, that's probably when you get cast for that particular role. And it's also probably when that character leaps off the page, leaps off the screen, leaps out of the headphones or, whatever you're listening on, if you're listening to an audiobook or an audio drama. So it's just interesting that you, not talking about the acting side, talking about the writing side, are also just like, well, yeah, I mean, it's about what the character's intentions are what drive them. And so I just find that fascinating. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get on to some less cerebral.
You can stop now.
Do
Conversations.
you need
Oh
some
no,
help there?
it legit just sounded weird to me, so I'm sorry.
Cerebral?
Cerebral. I was like, what? It doesn't sound right.
Did it
like when you're
sound
writing...
too cerebral?
Yes, it did. Well, it's like when you're writing a word and you've spelled it right and it just looks wrong.
I've had that so many times. It is not even funny. Okay, I don't write anymore. I'm kidding.
The interesting part for me is the word that does it most often is the word real, like REAL. The most often that word becomes like completely disconnected from its actual meaning.
Yeah. No, I think the word restroom for me is like throws me the heck off. I don't know how.
Scream, yeah.
I'm like, it looks in my head. It hurts. It looks weird.
And
100%.
that's the reason they have a little picture on the restroom door of either a girl or a boy.
Mhm.
Yep. It's more of like when I'm writing it, not when I see it. Like if I'm assuming that if like a place of professional business, has the word right, so I don't question it. But when I write it, I'm like, wait, is it? Wait, is there? Wait, hold on. Ah! Then I quit.
Well, and now you're actually working on a couple of spoilers scripts of your own, so I'm sure that pops up quite a bit more frequently.
Secrets,
now.
God for
Robert.
spell
Secrets.
check. But secrets, Robert, secrets.
Hey, I didn't drop any information. Just, maybe people should stay tuned to the Articulate Studios podcast for more information about other stuff coming out from us. I'm just saying. Let's move on to the next. Yeah, 6-7. Let's move on to the next scene between Celeste Piedmont and Jefferson Gardner, played by the wonderful
Gardner.
Tiffany Magnuson, and of course me being crazy.
No.
I really enjoy this scene because it starts off with everything that we were just talking about. It feels like Gardner's maybe not telling everybody everything, and Celeste starts off the scene by saying, I can't do my job unless I have all the information. And this isn't the first time we've had this conversation, if I recall. So it's fairly obvious that good old Jefferson is not being completely forthcoming with the details about what he's working on with the people he's working with. So I love that to start. The second, in this whole scene, got this dripping sense of contempt from Celeste towards Gardner, which, you're acting with me, so I get it. But
Stop.
where did that come from? Like, it was awesome in the moment when we were acting. What do you think the relationship is between Gardner and Piedmont?
I'm not 100% sure. Clearly they need each other, right? But I'm not sure what Piedmont's, what her thing is for all of this. Like, what is she getting?
Her end game?
Yeah, I don't know what she's getting out of it. I don't know what she's trying to get out of it. But clearly they have worked together before, right? They know each other. She knows about his antics and the kind of person he is. So this probably for me isn't the first project they've worked on together. So they have some history, and clearly he's crossed the line with her multiple times because she's like, I'm done. Like this, seriously, we're doing this again? Great.
Absolutely.
One thing I found so interesting about this dynamic, you have this massive amount of hubris from Rob where he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I know what's going on. I can control my wife. And then at the end, when Celeste is like, you really have thought of everything. And it's like, you almost want, I swear, like every woman out there was like, you don't know, and it's just like, it's in just that little like, oh, you really have thought of everything.
Dumb guys having dumb moments.
Have you
just
really?
saying.
And I love the way that line was delivered. And like there was a part of me that like wanted that extra line just to like make it so obvious. But I was like, but you know what? It's so beautiful in just how it's just so thinly veiled.
Yeah, because she's like, okay, let's see how this all works out for you.
I mean, hell hath no
Dum-dum.
fury like a woman's scorn. Yeah. And like you just made that the perfect subtext.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they obviously have something on each other. She even says, yes, mutually assured destruction, right? Like, don't forget that you need me. Like, she's justifying the fact that he can't just discard her as an ally because, Jefferson still needs her to do some stuff. I just love the animosity, and it almost seems like this is the kind of relationship that I would have with a friend that I have known since high school. And we had harebrained ideas back then, and we worked on these really stupid science fair projects to try and like blow up the gym where all of the projects were, so that like and they never came to fruition because the vision was too big for, you know, a high schooler, or not working together to try to get to the goal, but also still trying to stab each other in the back along the way. Like, that's what I'm getting out of these two, which I think is a very fun dynamic.
So
And
what this reminded me of, because over the holiday season, of course, I watched Christmas Vacation, you know, with Chevy Chase. So Margot and Todd have this kind of relationship where he's like, I don't know, Todd. Like, and I just kind of get that these two are kind of like that with each other. They're like, yeah, well, whatever.
so is this the relationship that Aaron wishes Jerry and Matt had, but isn't getting the payoff on? They already had the relationship, and now they're past that, and now they're just like, yeah, we hate each other, but we gotta keep working together because we want to do whatever we're working on.
Yes.
Aaron
Matt and Jerry
vigorously
forever.
saying no, no, no.
I'm still saying I ship Bill and Gardner, so it's not.
Okay, you say Gardner, and I know who you mean, but I'm also like, but there's two Gardners in this show.
Is there though? Is Renee still using the Gardner name? I don't know.
She probably gets in a little more places with that last name. I'm just
Especially at her
saying.
garden parties. I mean,
Yeah, she
like,
she
right
has her
there.
clubs, she has her garden parties, her charities. Like, it's nice having a powerful name associated, so.
Yeah, but
Who
she
knows?
just needs her husband to keep his pants on when people are over. Like,
Yeah,
Losing the pants, Gardner.
I mean it's people like Celeste Piedmont that cause the pants to fly off. I don't know what to say about that.
Robert.
I feel like the title of this episode could change to "You Just Don't Get It," and it would still work.
In any case, we also learned that Jefferson Gardner has compromising material on Petrovich. So I'm just curious. Like, again, it just brings me back to, like, it seems like if she's not, if she
why
knows
would
that
he
she's,
need it? Why would he need it?
so my theory is, Jason, don't spoil anything. I know you're very, very bad at not spoiling things. You tight-lipped. Anyway, but she if she knows that they're working on something that's going to be a net negative for humanity, that's the only reason that having compromising material would be valuable.
Keep
So
her in
I would
line?
imagine that. I'm sorry.
Keep her in line that way?
Right, keep her
Yeah.
on track, because
Mhm.
it seems like the small anomalies might be what make the difference between helping or hurting. And so she's ignoring the small anomalies, not purposely, but or not willingly, I should say, but knowingly, because she knows that she has to do this thing because Gardner has dirt on her.
I have a feeling Gardner has a file on everybody he interacts with that's full of dirt that he can use for leverage at any moment.
Where
he's
does
that
Lynn
guy.
get the
Gardner, just
file?
to
Jefferson
clarify
Gardner.
for
Yes,
everybody.
Jefferson,
Because he's
not
that
Renee.
guy.
Or
He's the
does she?
guy that's going to leverage his way to get what he wants.
Yeah, because Renee gave Lynn this folder, right? Or Matt the folder. Yeah, it's Gardner's folder.
I mean, you could say that I have many folders for many people.
Yeah, but can't we answer Tiffany's question with a statement that was made in an earlier episode, which was when Gardner had mentioned his funding. Without each other, neither could have their fruition come. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Dumb guy. Neither could have their dreams come to fruition because she's got all the tech and the know-how and the discovery, but he's got all the money to put it out there.
Mutually assured destruction.
Without him, she's got nothing. And without her, he's got nothing. I mean, and I'm sure the question has been asked, if she's this super brilliant scientist, if she's the super, if she's got all this massively destructive power, why hasn't she destroyed him yet? Because she needs his funding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Erica, do you have
that's
any-
one of the biggest questions. It's like, why hasn't Petrovich asked the question, what do I need you for? I mean, because if you think about it, there are dozens, if not hundreds more Jefferson Gardeners on planet Earth.
And maybe that's why she wants to get done ahead of schedule.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Erica, do you have any conspiracy theories or thoughts on these characters?
If I can figure out the mute.
You are unmuted.
I think I agree with Tiffany. I feel like she wants to get done quickly so she can control the information and the data. So that's my theory. She's looking out for number one. So.
Hey, you got to put on your mask first before you assist the child next to you, right?
Gardner's
And
a child.
Jefferson Gardner is definitely a child.
Gardner is a child.
But I do still wonder, like where Celeste falls into all of this. You know,
Hmm?
like
Well,
she
she
kind of
kidnapped
see-
William Ackers.
Yeah,
Did.
I think
So-
she's an assassin for hire. I think she's just that she's an assassin.
Well, she's got a group of people because she sent people after him, right?
Sure,
So,
but she can. Okay, so she's got
like
an
the hot dog
she's-
vendor.
Mm.
Poor
He's
hot
behind it
dog
all.
vendor.
He's behind it all.
That gosh
For all
darn
we
hot
know,
dog vendor.
for all we know, the hot dog vendor could be Mr. Piedmont.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Plot twist.
Jason's just listening to all this going, no.
Like you are all
he's
so
writing.
wrong.
No, I'm not.
He's taking
I'm not
notes.
saying a word.
Let the
So
mice
I have-
chatter.
Demon.
I have a challenge for everybody this year, and this is on topic, I promise. For Halloween, we have to dress up as our most iconic character, so Aaron, you're the hot dog.
But he's not my most iconic character.
Oh, he is.
You don't
just
know
don't
it
know
yet.
it
Yeah.
yet. His dogs will save humanity.
You haven't seen
or
episode
destroy
10
them.
yet, so
Man.
His cart has an interdimensional beam that will reverse the polarity of the frequency. Anyway, I'm not. No.
It's
All
the
right,
hot
so
dog water. That's what does it.
ooh,
Electrolytes in the hot dog water.
So
Sorry.
Delicious.
everyone knows that you can call a hot dog a wiener. So does that mean that you're drinking bone broth?
No.
Oh.
Robert.
Boo hiss.
That's just not right.
Yeah. 100%
But
agreed,
here's
Larry.
the thing. It's Rob's favorite beverage. So.
Boner broth, yes. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
All right, so
And
Getting
that's
to the
even
end-
worse.
getting to the end of this Gardner Piedmont scene, I find it super interesting because I know that Gardner and Petrovich are working, and ostensibly Piedmont, are working on something to, I don't know, either usher in a new, well, I don't know. This is my opinion. They're doing something that's going to affect humanity in a way. My guess is either, because the military's been doing a lot of work with sound waves to like suppress enemy soldiers because you can make people feel super uncomfortable, get sick, etc. by sending sound at them. This seems like rather than having a targeted way to do this, it's just a way to do it on a mass scale. So when Celeste says, I couldn't be less interested in your personal proclivities right up until they endanger our plans. And then he says, she'll come around. If she doesn't, she loses access to her accounts, which I don't think will matter in what they're planning for the new world, because he says, she's no different than the rest, meaning the people in the town or the world even. She'll see reason eventually. Because he might be forcing people to see the world the way he wants it to be, or affecting the frequencies of reality. She will eventually see reason because she won't be thinking for herself.
In regards to Renee, right?
Yes, in regards to Renee. And obviously everybody else in the world. But yeah, specifically Renee. Celeste and Jefferson talking about that, about getting her into line, right?
She's not
So-
out of line. She just kicked him out of the house. That's all.
Well, he was being a dumb boy, so
Yeah, he lost his pants in public, so he gets kicked out of the house.
consequences.
6, 7. Okay, enough of
Stop
that.
it. No, but I think that going back to Petrovich, I think she does understand what's going on, because the last line that she has is that we're going to be waking up to a whole new world, right? So I think
Right, but I don't know that she knows that it's a bad world. Right?
Or maybe she just...
She knows. She's known since episode 3. That's why in episode 3 she said she wanted full control. She saw the consequences of her tech in the hands of Gardner and Davenport. Episode
fair enough.
3
Yeah, and
always
she
has
does know that it can be...
consequences.
And
Yes.
whenever you think you've outsmarted a smart woman, you've just been outsmarted yourself.
Very
That's
smart,
my
Larry.
problem. That's my problem. Moving on. We're going to actually bring in Larry to the conversation. Welcome, Larry, to
Yeah, let's
Resonant
get to this-
Frequency.
Thank you,
The
thank you, thank you.
impossible wall of text that poor Larry had to read.
Well, this
For
is a
his
great
sake.
scene. This is a great scene, and it was awesome listening to Larry enact this scene, because so it's almost like you're a defense contractor. You have some military experience. You this is you bringing your medical, even though it's not medical, but it's as if you were bringing your medical experience into a medical narration. This is you bringing your military experience into a discussion about weapons, which you don't realize at first, right? You think that it's just some overenthusiastic person coming to talk to you about like technical stuff. And then she basically is like, well, what about this secret project you work on when you were in the military? And I fully believe that you were, a former special forces person, maybe a general who had worked on some of these projects in the past. How did you bring Rivers to life?
Well, Jason asked me to be the character that is grounded, someone who has been successful, someone who almost has a teacher perspective. And so that's kind of the perspective I brought to Rivers, in that he was going to be teaching the people that came into his office. And he is a guy that has seen some stuff that's not good, and he stepped away. And he thinks he stepped away and has stayed away, but didn't realize he's right in the thick of the bad stuff. And so for him, it was a real shock. But you find out in his character, which I connected with, that there is a moral compass that he sticks to. And you would find that in someone who is a military background as well. But, that moral compass that brings a direction, no matter what the circumstances are, he knows what true north is.
No, absolutely. And he didn't even realize that this was being weaponized yet, right? Like he ran into Ackers at some point. I'm pretty sure that's this episode. Jason, stop me if I'm getting ahead of ourselves. But he talks a little bit about running back into William Ackers and Ackers being like one of the smartest people he knew, working on all kinds of stuff, and then he just kind of disappeared. Right?
Yeah. And he talks about how Ackers goes from being the genius that was also a kind and wonderful friend to being a shell of himself and being used by the very people he thought that were bringing his ideas to fruition, and they were actually just sucking the life right out of him. It was, and that, you could tell from the way he described it and the way it was written by Jason, it was all in full color. And it just really, it wasn't a major effort to bring that forward, because it was written very well, I think.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I love about this scene and the next scene, is it also brings in a little bit of an element of cloak and dagger spy stuff to it, where you're like, I'm feeling a little hungry, so I'm going to go get some dinner. You guys might want to try that hot dog stand over on 5th and, Ventura or whatever. And then he ends up, of course, showing up there because that's, so he can talk to them without microphones being around or without any kind of, oversight, basically. And then getting back to the moral compass, he hands them a list of delivery schedules.
Yeah.
It's just like, here you go. Like, this is our whole now I realize that I'm in the shit, as you said. Here's how you guys can investigate this and see if you guys can get a little closer to the answers.
Yes, and the scene, I thought it was so balanced in terms of the characters and how they approach this. And now, Rivers he's found an ally immediately, and he clings to that, and not only clings to it, he just hands off. Okay, he said, I can't do this. You guys are ready to battle evil. Here's the ammunition I can provide, and he knows how dangerous it is, as well as everyone in the scene knows how dangerous it is. But it's that element of it's almost it's like a spy novel. So it really well done. It was fun. It was fun to go through that.
And can we just give Jen a round of applause for doing such a good job as Jerry in that scene? And
100%.
I
Thank
love the fact
you.
that it's not Matt running the question, because in the 80s, that's what you would expect, right? The male detective going in and barging in, and nope, Jerry's in there, and she's just like, okay, well, here's what we're looking for. A little bit of I just want some technical information, but what about Project Angel Wings, bitch? And he's like, and then he's like, how did you know that? Right? Like, I just love that. I love that whole, both sets of dialogue. The first part when you're in the office, the second part when you guys are out getting food. Just masterclass in acting, in my opinion. So good job, both of you. Well, all four of you.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I mean, it was easy. Half of acting is reacting, and when you have great people to react with, it makes a huge difference. And for me, it was so much fun. And with Jen's character being the social genius, trying to weasel out information where she can and try to work Rivers, so to speak. She played that beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
All acting.
Agreed.
Yeah. No, I also liked, when I was first going through the script and we were recording it the first time through, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go get some hot dogs. And then, the spy part didn't even hit me until Aaron was like, yeah, I could eat. And I was like, oh, I see where we're going with this. Because I was like, why would you do that? Like, I'm going to go get some hot dogs. And I'm like, that is some weird dialogue right there. Oh, there's a reason for that. Okay.
I also feel like it was sort of a, I'm not going to say a coming of age, but sort of a coming of career moment for Jerry as well, because she's probably watched Matt do this so many times. And for her to step in and be like, no, I got this. I totally got this. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
See, I did not see it that way at all. Because I've
One
always.
sec. No, I have to turn a light off. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. I always saw Jerry, like Matt and Jerry have always had their own careers. They've always done their own thing. So this is me in my element, I do the research. I know this tech stuff. So I didn't see it as oh, I've seen Matt do this. So now it's my turn and I'm going to grow into it. No, this is me doing my thing.
I definitely got the sense that you were a professional who already had the skill set.
Yeah.
And so you were coming in and doing it. But, again, in the 80s, you could have had the skill set.
It's very fair. Yeah.
But the dude still would have been like, well, I'm the guy, so I'm going to go and be the guy. I mean, so I could see both sides, but I definitely felt like you had the expertise.
It is absolutely fascinating to me to hear these slightly different reads on these scenes, because I can tell you what was going through my head, and I have no problem telling you that. But listening to all of you talk about this, I don't feel it's my place to say, nope, you're all wrong. This is how, this, with audio only content particularly, there's like the relationship between the media and the listener is so precious and so intimate. I mean, it really does happen up here. It happens in your head. And I
Stop it.
walked into that one. I apologize, everyone. But I think that the act of negotiating with the text or the audio drama in this case, like that's where the narrative is truly generated. And like the scene that we're just talking about here, the way I read that was, or the way that it was intended when I was writing it was that it's indicating, first of all, that Matt and Jerry have a pretty lengthy professional relationship. We know they're, on a personal level, they're really comfortable with each other. They're very chummy, all that. But like when Jerry says, you know what, I'm going to take this one. And she says flat out, Matt, we both know I have the expertise and the experience. You don't. And he doesn't. He just says, yeah, you're right. And he knows it's true. He knows better than to try to, well, little missy, you better say, he's not that guy. He knows, like, he's working with Jerry because she's a badass. So he is as dumb a boy as he is smart enough to realize when, like, you got to put the talent where the talent's needed. And in this case, Jerry is the talent. So that's why he doesn't really get involved at all, except at the very end when he sees it slipping away, and then Jerry has to reel him back in and say, hang on there, sport. We're going to slow down just a little bit. And then, too, with that little sequence in the following scene where Matt says, hey, thanks for having my back. Like, there's no embellishment. There's no negotiation. He's grateful that she's as good at what she does as she is. So that's what I was thinking. But I think everything else that everybody said is also could be valid, which is why this whole thing is so much fun.
Yeah. I just love seeing your scripts and listening to them come to life by this talented group of actors, and it's just amazing to watch, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will probably be exiting for this time. It is late in my time zone, and so I am ready for bed. So have a good night, all. Continue with the wonderful discussion, and we will see you next time.
Adios, Danielle. We are going to wrap this episode up. We're pretty much at the end. We talked about, I think, pretty much all of the major points that I wanted to hit, but also I think we've covered all of the different sections of the script. I think the only other thing that I would say that I'm super proud of is the fact that Matt has a date with Lynn the following night. So congratulations on that, Matt.
Great job.
A professional date, I guess. So, in any case, does anybody else have anything that they would like to touch on that maybe I missed?
Well, I did. I really wanted to.
Except you, Jason. I'm kidding.
Fine. I really did want to say just a huge thanks to Larry for joining an established podcast audio drama in episode 8 of 10 in the season. So it's, just the part where things are really ramping up. We're just going to have you jump in right there, and I'm going to give you all the exposition for basically every episode that came before it as your dialogue. And go. That was what I gave Larry to work with, and he comes back, and I think this has to be said. This has been shared in our group here, but I want the people who listen to Static Shift to understand this. Um, if you haven't listened to the episode yet, when you listen to it, you're going to find that Don Rivers, played by Larry Trigg, has a lot of dialogue. He's, I think, several times more than like anybody else, the next person with the next most lines. And Larry, you might need to help me fill in some of these details, but there was an issue, I think, with your recording that we did live. Am I getting that correct?
Yes. I have had issues with my DAW, and for some reason, it's supposed to save automatically, and I feel comfortable every time I record. If I don't necessarily have to go to File and then hit Save, and I close the lid, it's going to be, I've got it saved. But this time it did not. I opened it up, opened my computer.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And my DAW, and I don't want to say out loud because, it could happen to any DAW. So
It rhymes with Cudio Sun.
Something like that, yeah.
And a company that rhymes with Bender just rebranded it.
Yes, it did. And so, thank you, Rob. So when I opened it up, Studio One came up again, and then
Cudio Brun.
and then it's exactly. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it said it closed. It just disappeared, and I couldn't find the file anywhere. And thanks Google for trying, but couldn't find the file. So I re-recorded every line, and
Wow.
yeah, but you do what you got to do, right? I mean, you get invited to this level of podcast with this level of acting and this level of writing, and you don't let something like that get in your way if you're going to contribute. And believe me, there were a lot of lines. I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as I've got a big responsibility to the rest of my actors in my group. I felt a responsibility to you guys, and so I didn't think twice about it. And as I told Jason, I said, I just looked at it as more recording experience. So,
Well, and to your credit, you can't tell that you weren't recording live.
No.
Oh, I was recording live.
Not at all.
It just disappeared.
No. But what I mean is, like, when you
in
re-recorded
the finished episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what was astounding for me. So now that everybody knows what happened, so I don't know, it was a day or two after we had recorded live, and Larry sends me this message, and he explained what happened. He said, and here's the file. Like, he had already re-recorded it. I was, I couldn't, I was beside myself.
Professional.
Yeah, but then I went back and listened, and I thought there were actually a couple things that I thought you hit a little better on your re-record. Maybe just because you were a little more familiar and comfortable with it. But I put it in, and it just fit so perfectly with everything else. And I knew within about 3 seconds, it was like, oh, this is going to be, like, I can just start cutting this up and timing everything right now, because it was exactly what I needed. So, kudos to you, Larry. Truly, it was, you have been an incredibly valuable addition to this cast.
Well, I can't express how much I appreciate you saying that, because to me, being part of the cast has been extremely valuable to me. Being around you guys, we've known each other for a while. I admire your acting ability. I admire who you all are as people. And when I say I felt a responsibility to you guys, I mean, it was a serious responsibility to fill in the part that I was responsible for. That to re-record, I didn't think twice about doing it. It was just something to do. And I believe that each one of you would have done the exact same thing. So because of that, I don't think it was a big deal. But I thank you for saying that. I didn't do anything you guys wouldn't have done for me. So, but it has been, I have to say, it has been such a pleasure acting with you guys, to see the range in characters, and acting really is reacting to your co-stars. And so for me, that part of it and re-recording, I just had everybody's lines in my head because you hit them so well. It was unforgettable. So it was not as hard as it may sound like because of the job that you guys did the first time around.
Well, the feeling's mutual, Larry. We absolutely love working with you. So thanks for being a part of our roster, and thanks for bringing the characters that we give to you to life, because I don't think anybody else could do them the way that you do them.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. And right back at you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything else that they would like to hit on? That was an important point to hit on, so I'm glad that you brought that up, Jason. Great on that. Anything else? I think we went through the script pretty thoroughly. And our episodes are getting longer, everybody. We're getting up to, I think this one was 32 or 33 minutes long. Episode 9 is also around 30 minutes long. Episode 10 is going to be 14 hours and 17 seconds long. I don't know that for a fact. I haven't seen the script yet. But we're getting into, TV episode length territory, which I, for one, think is awesome. We have enough story to kind of drive those kinds of narratives. Hopefully, they're engaging and entertaining, and y'all are continuing along on the ride with us. But anything else that anybody wanted to hit on?
I mean, I'll just hit on that. If you think about the length of these, so we started, the first one was 15 minutes. It was very short.
The pilot was 8 minutes.
It was 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So these were supposed to be really short episodes that, could be produced once a week, no stress or anything. And as the scripts and the story got more detailed, all of the audio that you don't pay attention to, but you would know if it wasn't there, and just all the little details that Jason makes sure are in there, so you are immersed in that story for now, not 8 minutes, not 20 minutes, but 30, 38, however long these are, and still consistently doing that week by week. I have no idea how you do it. I am in absolute awe of that.
It's goblin mode.
Well,
Yes.
I often don't hit my deadlines is part of that equation.
It's all good. It's a pleasure to be a part of all of this with all of you. So I love the fact that we are able to do this. That being said, this resonant frequency is for episode 8, Entanglement. And as you mentioned, and I think as I mentioned at the beginning, we're almost at the end of the first season. So episode 10 will be the last official episode of the season. We may have one or two little secret things coming down the pipe. But any ideas as we wrap up the first season as to what timing may look like for season 2? I imagine we would probably like to get the majority of it written and recorded before we start releasing. But any thoughts about that? I mean, not that this is going to be written in stone, but this year, or I guess last year, we started in October on the 8th. Maybe the 8th of August is on a Wednesday this year. I don't know. I haven't looked. But 8/8 would be kind of fun for Articulate. Just saying.
Well, I will say I have actually given it a lot of thought, and just in the process of especially the back half of season 1, episodes 6 through 10, I really am starting to appreciate how truly little I knew when we did episode 1. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew how to do multi-track recording and editing well enough to put something together so you could hear all the different parts. I took one screenwriting class during my undergrad in college. That's about the extent of my expertise starting Static Shift. I've learned a lot in that time. And I mean, there's been on the back end, on the technical side, there has been this enormous progression from one episode to another. From 6 to 7, it gets elevated. From 7 to 8, it gets and like that's going to keep continuing. So by the time we have released episode 10, season 1 is in the books. I'm going to have a whole big bag of tricks to bring to season 2. But one thing, and you mentioned this, Rob, it is going to be at the very minimum 80% written before anything is recorded. And I think, and really, I mean, the goal is going to be, 40 to 45 minute episodes per episode for season 2, because I feel like this is just a dangerous thing to say, but I've thought about, like, okay, if I were to go back and if I were to rewrite Static Shift season 1 as an hour-long TV series, so 44 minutes per episode, what would that be like? And I have a lot of ideas about what that would be like. And it's like there's, we're talking about how all of these things are revealed within these conversations and who knows what and when. All of that, if you're starting with knowing how the thing ends, you can do that in a totally different way and still have it be really affecting and effective. So I'm going to take what season 1 should have been had I known all this stuff when we started, and then that's what season 2 is going to be, but the continuation of the story.
I love it. And we're just talking hypotheticals here, so we're not coming out on August 8th. It would be kind of fun to do that. But it might be later, it might be earlier. We don't know yet. So we haven't even started. Jason, I don't think, has even started brainstorming on what season 2 is going to look like. But
not true.
Uh-oh. God, no, I've got to put together a second little thread board so that I can start tying things together.
Get to Hobby Lobby tomorrow, buddy.
I boycott that particular store because of reasons. But yes, my local Ace Hardware will be fine.
There you go.
They have multiple colored cord.
We've got twine. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay. I can dye the twine. It'll be fine.
Now, Beat Frequency, on the other hand, does have a timetable.
Does it?
Yes, it does. So
tell me more.
So following the end of season 1 of Static Shift, not immediate, but it'll shortly follow, will be the end of what I'm going to call the prologue season of Beat Frequency, where we're going to have one episode. We got one episode left that's going to kind of tie us into going into the official season 1 of Beat Frequency. And season 1 of Beat Frequency will be starting in April after VO Atlanta.
Cool. Well, that's something to look forward to for sure. And that can tide us over until Static Shift season 2.
April 8th is a Wednesday.
Wait.
4/8.
4/8? Oh my gosh. That sounds like a good day to target. I love it. Any other secrets anybody wants to share with me? I love secrets.
This last episode of Beat Frequency, the prologue is going to have characters crossing over.
Cool. So from the main Static Shift storyline into Beat Frequency.
Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Rob's going to need more twine.
Yes.
More twine.
Yeah, I mean, they only make so many colors, y'all.
Well, and also be sure to check out the other podcasts that are being produced by Articulate Studios. Rob, you have your leadership podcast that's already out. And there are some other podcasts coming out with me and Nettie, and Danielle might have something. I don't know. She might have something in the future.
She's been writing.
So So there are definitely more podcasts and more things that are being generated. So check out articulate.studios for all the other content we're creating.
All of those projects will be on our projects page. So if you go to articulate.studio, you can see what's currently there, which is Static Shift and Resonant Frequency. And as things are released, you can find them there. Leadership Signal is my leadership podcast. I did start that last year. I got pulled away for a bit, so I'm not promoting it too much outside of the episodes that are already there. But it is going to be coming back here in a hot second. Just got a couple other little things to work on that are a bit more important at the moment, but we'll be back on that. And then Nettie and Jennifer, once their podcast, I know you guys have recorded several episodes. You guys are like 6 or 7 episodes in, right?
6, 7. You know?
Hey!
Yeah, we're over halfway through recording everything, and then we're gonna release everything very regularly. I think we'll be a season of 10 episodes before we start releasing.
Cool. Very
We're
cool.
almost there.
Awesome. So I guess we'll see what's coming a little bit later in 2026. I'm very excited about all of this. I love it all. So this has been Static Shift, Resonant Frequency, Episode 8, Entanglement. We hope you've enjoyed joining us. If you have any comments, questions, theories, or just want to send us a quick note about Static Shift, your theories, your conspiracies, your theory crafting, as it were, you can always email us at staticshift@articulate.studio. If you'd like more information about Articulate Studios, visit us on the web at articulate.studio, and that is articulate with the number 8, not ATE. And if you'd like to inquire about working with any of us on any of your voiceover projects, we are all professional voice actors. We all have professional broadcast quality home studios. You can send an inquiry to contact@articulate.studio. Just say, hey, I want to work with Tiffany, or hey, I'd like a general audition on this script. We are happy to provide what we can and help you with your projects. From all of us here at Articulate Studios, have an excellent week, and we will see you next week after the release of our penultimate episode. So goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Peace.